Denny J Show.
Zvanga zviri downtown uptown aitidzwe nyaya dzacho dzese narrative ndaichidwe kana mchida kutipisa deep ndaipidwe make you spill a bean if you know what I mean hande
It's time!
All right, it is the Denny J Show.
I was gonna say it's the Becky K Show.
No, it's not the Becky K Show. It's the Denny J Show with Becky K sitting in for Denny J.
All right.
Yes. Lodza, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
And I'm tired.
Indaba.
No, but you know what? The show had to go on, but age man do miss it, guys.
Step up.
Yeah.
MVP, Baba.
Yeah.
Show.
Danny, I hope you're good, and I hope I hope you're good, and I hope everything is going okay where you are. Welcome to the Denny J Show. We come with Becky K. Yes, Shem. Yes, welcome to the Denny J Show. I'm with Becky K. I'm sitting in for Denny. That's
Holy
why
Becky.
I am in this chair today, and I am manning this thing. You know. Pressure.
Takuti holy 10 holy 5 kuchika kwaita wakurumidza kuchika wena.
No, it's just respect.
Yeah, I know. I got you.
But we are going to have a good show, nonetheless. Sure. So, plenty of time on the Denny J Show. We've got artists that come through as guests. We've got business people that come through. But most of our episodes recently have been about artists and the music industry and what is going on. So we were about to have another artist, and we're like, wall up, singakathathi another artist. What if we speak to the people who know about what is happening in the arts industry and what is happening with artists, and so that they can help us in making informed decisions? Because at times maybe tisingazive system inofamba sei. So I went to work.
HR.
I went to work, and this work did my favor because this man somehow raised me. Guys,
rough.
So indaba yokubuza ama questions, imbuzo and everything. Disclaimer: I'm just doing my job. It's
grilling time.
I'm just doing my job. Okay, so before we get into the grilling, I'm going to introduce to you who our guest is. I know him as Uncle Nick, but most of you know him as Nicholas Moyo, who is the Executive Director at the National Arts Council of Zimbabwe. With 26 years of experience in the music industry, him being an artist himself, I'm yet to find out which music he was doing and why he stopped. Right? He studied at he studied and he got a lot of accolades attached to him from the University of Zimbabwe. He's got an MBA, which is a Master's in Business Administration. He has competencies in leadership, team building and management program, project planning and management, financial management, as well as strategic planning and review. He has great ability in training, presentation, networking, and facilitation. No wonder he is the Executive Director of the National Arts Council. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Uncle Nick.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you for accepting. Nyapila.
You guys kept me an hour.
Uncle Nick, you know what?
Very sorry,
Uncle Nick, we are sorry.
I'm worried.
About what? Worried about what?
About everything, but I'm here.
No, don't he's worried.
Thank you for
everything.
coming, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for, waiting. Life happened, something very unexpected happened, and I was like, Uncle Nick is waiting. I have to go, but I was like, I'll make it as long as Uncle Nick does not go. Thank you. You see? Forgiven.
Yes.
I want to
Thank you for coming, Mr.
It's my My pleasure.
Right. So, Uncle Nick, with just the brief that I read out about your bio, which was very brief, really, just letting people know how long you've been with the National Arts Council. We don't even know how long, but I know you've got 26 years of experience, and I'm sure it's now more than 26 years. So, can you just tell us a little bit about how you got involved with the National Arts Council?
Maybe let me say, in your introduction, you said in music. Let me put a correction and saying in the arts.
Okay, in the arts.
Yes, not in the music.
Okay.
So when you are looking about issues to do with music, I may not be the expert in music, but when you talk arts, then I can step up.
Okay.
Okay.
I joined National Arts Council year 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, year 2000. That's when I joined.
Wow.
It's like 23
So this
years
was
now, going for
23
the
years.
23. Yeah.
With
Going for the
National Arts
23.
Council.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
But before that, I was working for an organization called the Zimbabwe Association of Community Theatre. So theatre was my base or foundation in the arts. So it's been with ZACT, and I started the business of arts, I think, 1983.
Wow.
That's when I got into real professional acting.
Wow.
1983 until
Oh, so you were
now.
acting.
Amazing. Amazing.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was on the stage as an actor.
As in theater.
Is in theatre, yes.
Okay.
As an actor in theatre, did a few participation in a couple of movies. Your Cry Freedom, Dry White Season, The Coming of Lumumba.
Okay.
Quite a number of that as an actor there. And then I went into writing poetry and then directing
Yeah.
theatre. Then I decided I'm going to be an arts administrator. I'm not going to continue just as an artist. So I moved into the academics and trying to marry academics and
And the arts.
the arts. And I found myself being an arts administrator. So now I'm with the National Arts Council.
Oh, nice.
Would you ever leave the National Arts Council?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, it's not my organization, so
Okay.
I'm leaving the
Alika
National Arts
dino
Council.
ngalo.
No sentino.
So indaba zakhona azipheli.
No. I think I've you know, when you're in public institutions, you should always think about passing on the baton to somebody else. And for me, I believe it's time a new generation comes into the administration of the arts, and I'm ready for that.
Okay. What has been your most challenging time working with the National Arts Council?
The most challenging thing or time working with the National Arts Council is working on a limited funding.
Where do you get your funding from?
National Arts Council is an arm of government. We're parastatal, state assisted.
Okay.
So the primary funding comes from government.
Okay.
And the most challenge really has been running an institution where your aspirations cannot be met by the resources that are available.
Why do you think that's the case?
We are sitting here, we're in Harare. And the economy of the country, since I became an adult,
Yeah.
has been what everybody knows, the economic situation in the country. So it's not unique to National Arts Council. And we share the slice. We get a slice of the national cake. And the national cake has never been expanding. So for me, it's not a unique situation that I could lament and get onto the mountain about.
And be
But
like shouting and letting everybody know.
we have to deal with what is there, and that's how my time at the Arts Council has been.
All right. So in the National Arts Council, who do you work with? Like your responsibility, is it for people in arts, like as in people in theater, or is it anybody in arts in terms of music, theater, filming? Like, who do you work with? Whom are you responsible for?
Our mandate is to deal with the arts and in its broader sense. So if I'm to answer your question, is to look at arts as comprising theater, dance,
Okay.
spoken word,
Right.
visual arts, literary arts, film and television, or film.
Sculpturing and all of that also falls in there.
Visual arts.
Visual arts,
Yeah.
okay.
So where you have two-dimensional, which is painting, photography, you have three-dimensional art, which is sculpting, both wood, stone, ceramic, whatever, and then you have multimedia, those that pick different things,
Right.
put up installation. So the wide range of visual arts. Then you come to dance, then you have music. So I look at arts in its broad sense. You have fashion, culinary arts, which is food,
Oh, it falls under that also.
and understanding
Wow.
that arts is an expression of a people's culture. So you then deal with components of culture because arts are an expression of culture. So it's a wide range of disciplines. Arts, yeah.
All right.
That's the mandate as given by the Act of Parliament.
All right. So, with you being responsible for this broad spectrum of the arts sector, what part of NAMA are you responsible for?
What part of the National Arts Merit Awards am I responsible for?
Yes.
NAMA is a flagship program of National Arts Council. So we are responsible
For the awards themselves.
they are ours.
Oh, they belong to the National
Belong
Arts
to the
Council.
National Arts Council. So anyone whom we hire and work with
Is working under you
is working under National Arts Council. So we are responsible for
with funding from the government for these awards, or then you have to outsource funding for these awards to happen.
Yes, because the cost of running awards is just huge. It's our flagship. It's our most expensive program we run in a year, and we are very grateful to partners that have come over the years.
True.
To ensure that they underwrite certain critical costs. But the greatest underwriters of the cost have always been the artists themselves.
Right.
Because we are there for the artists. We are there to superintend over the issues to do with the artists. And the awards are their awards. So they are the greatest underwriter of the numbers in many respects.
All right. So currently, I remember I hosted the awards twice. And then the other time I was on the red carpet. I think my very first interaction with the awards was me on the red carpet. And then the other two times I was on the stage. And I've seen how the awards have evolved. Like, it's like gets better and better each and every year.
Sure.
Amazing. Well, especially currently, I don't know who. No, but it's is it Napoleon?
Yes.
Who's like
The producer is
right.
is Napoleon.
Right.
The events management company is JCMC.
So I must say, ever since Napoleon took over as the producer, panic at that. They look nice. Like it's like international level type of awards. Comparing it.
No, I still think even that time when you participated,
Yes,
they were international level.
They were good. But
Yes, they were.
if you are to compare,
Yeah, past 2 years. Shambo, chati chinje zvacho.
it's proper.
I mean,
And if you add 2 years from your self now,
Yes.
if you don't perform better than what you are doing now,
Thank you.
what are you doing?
What are you doing?
There is no human being who does that. And for us, when we see NAMA where it is now,
Right.
as Arts Council Director, I don't think, for me, it makes so much sense to be then saying the events manager who did 5 years ago
It
did a
must-
shoddy job.
No,
Yes,
yeah.
it helped the current events manager
To develop
do a
it.
better job.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
So all of them, it was their time, and they did what they did.
No, and they did.
And they were pushing it to the next level. And NAMA is celebrating 21 years in existence.
Oh, wow.
And I can't
Yeah.
expect it at 21, Napoleon to come and start
And
showing
start
me
showing
what can
me.
be done at 15.
Yeah, true. All right,
No,
all right.
that's true. That's true. That's true. All right. So you've broken it down, the responsibilities and all. Now, in terms of getting NAMA to function as a prestigious award event or an award function, there's certain categories that people are nominated for and all of that, and there's always grievances with the music part of things. Why people focus on music, obviously, because music is the food of love, and people love music, people like to enjoy it and everything. So when we attend the NAMAs and then you hear best in poetry, whatever, people are like, yeah, Dlulan, we want to get to the music part. Unless if you are a proper arts lover and you are into theater, you're into poetry and the whole visual arts, then people are interested in who was nominated and who is winning. Half the time, some of the names that are called out, we don't know them. Asibazi thina, and we are just waiting for that music segment. Now, with the music segment, there's noise, Uncle Nick. There's noise.
Because music is noisy. You can't tell me that a poet...
Shut-
Wait. Because music is noisy.
Yes, it is. Because a sculptor is
Doesn't
silent.
make noise. It's silent.
True.
So
Music
when
is
Derek
noisy.
Benure
And
wins
then-
every
yes,
single
so I
year,
expect even the supporters of that particular art form to operate at the level of that art form. So it's and as arts council, I can't then judge the two similarly. No.
Okay.
Even when we call the outstanding two-dimensional work, people celebrate. People are enjoying. People can write. We have critics that critique visual artists.
right?
They're doing a beautiful work. They are waiting for that, but they are silent.
Okay. So with the noise that is made with the music, what is the criteria? Do the artists have to hand in their work, or is there a board in the National Arts Council or with NAMA that have an eye on the ground and they come back and report and say, hey, there's this artist who's come up, or this artist is doing good, or they have to submit work? Because we've had some artists who said, me and NAMA, no, we'll never hand
Actually,
in
it's good.
stuff.
It's good to have that.
Oh, it's good to have that?
It's freedom of association. It's important. Those people who say that are following the Constitution of Zimbabwe to the dot. Excellent. We should celebrate that because it's a choice. All right?
Okay.
I will ask, give me one award in this world which does not have people complain after it's done. Give me one. Not anywhere in the world. If we are saying NAMA is now at international level, that's what we should also celebrate. There is a certain quality of controversy because even all international awards have controversy.
True.
So when we say NAMA is now going to international level, we should not be
Expect.
selective of what things define international awards. That's one, and put that aside.
Okay.
Let me answer your question. NAMA, like any other awards, it's important to put in the context. Like any other awards, have a criteria. The first level, you have judges. You have a panel of adjudicators who go through things that need to be considered for nomination. On the other extreme end, you have the products that need to be considered for the award. How do the products come to be considered for an award? It means there has to be a criteria. And one of the criteria in all awards is that a particular product should fall within a certain period of time
Okay.
and should be done by a certain group of people. For NAMA, more specifically, 1st of December to 30 November of the following year. That's what we call the NAMA year.
Okay.
So the product should have been done within that year.
And this is the time when you've got people on the ground watching what's happening?
So come to the second level, we then have what we call, because you're now asking about how then these products, which I said, come to be
nominated.
Considered for nomination.
That's it.
So there are many ways of ensuring that we have in this basket products. The first one, we have what we call monitors, sector monitors.
Okay.
All associations and organizations that are registered with the National Arts Council are appointed to be sector monitors because they are the ones that have membership. So they monitor within the year, and every quarter they submit monitoring reports to National Arts Council, which reports are then compiled for the adjudication panel. That's institutional monitors.
Okay.
Then we have what we call individual monitors. Individual monitors are captains in the industry, people that are in the industry who have an interest and they can give their time to check what is happening within the year.
Okay.
These are called individual monitors. So they also quarterly submit reports, which reports are then compiled and they come to the adjudication panel. That's the first level of entering NAMA for submission. The second, it's when someone goes online and submit works online. You get online, click your NAMA, you get the form, you fill in the information that is needed, you attach a link of the works, you submit. So they are online submissions.
Okay.
Then there are what we call physical submissions. You can walk into a National Arts Council office, National Gallery office, or those institutions designated to receive NAMA entries. Pick up a form, complete,
And hand
attach what is there, and hand in. So the question is, who can do that?
Yes.
Everybody can do that.
Even the seasoned artists.
Everybody can do that.
Now, nguja praiser that everybody knows ukuthi music yakhe
does
is
that.
popping, and he still has to fill in a form.
If he doesn't fill in a form, how do you expect the judges to sit and judge work?
But you've got monitors on the ground. You've got
We're talking of works. Monitors have written their own report. All right? The collection of that information, if that album is already in the monitor's report, we have staff in the NAMA office, which then once it comes in the monitor's report, they look for the material for the monitors to have it. If, for example, your work, you are the one that is bringing it, and you say, no, I'm not going to give you the works, it's your choice. You think the judges will sit and judge a form that is your name and there's no work? No. That's why they can disqualify. Why do they disqualify? There is less information that helps them make a decision. It's a choice. The rules are there. This is why in the form, terms and conditions apply. So anybody who says, I cannot do this, is excluding themselves. So why should they be favored? It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work for Grammys. It doesn't work for Summers. It doesn't work for NAMA. It doesn't work anywhere in the world.
Okay, so with international awards, are you telling me that, for example, for the Grammys, Beyonce submits work?
That's where you make a mistake. Internationally, let's not talk about awards.
Yes.
International platforms,
Right.
record labels are functional. So
Okay.
the record labels enter the artists that are in their record label. In this country, the publishing houses that are there,
Should be the ones.
not that should, they are. But the challenge is that most of our publishing companies in this country are not record labels.
Oh, yo.
Many people are now creating their own publishing because they can do a studio like this, record, package, and sell.
True.
So when we compare with international, let's understand
functioning record labels.
Let's understand the industry in this country. Let's define the industry in this country. We are rushing too much to compare things that are not comparable.
Ciao.
Record labels internationally are functioning. They package, go and say, from my record label, this is what should be considered. The artist is not even involved. because he has paid, he has a contract with
the
people
record
who
label
are doing that.
to stand up for him or her and represent them in this award system. All right.
So with that, sir, what is National Arts Council doing to improve this publishing part? Like,
That's a very important question. What are we doing? Our approach has been to promote the creation of a music industry, which has a well-defined and functioning value chain. That's where we are as council. And what did we do? We invested into a process of research which led to the production of what we now call the first national music strategy for Zimbabwe.
Music strategy.
The focus being, let's create the industry.
okay.
An industry will function. At the moment, what do we have in Zimbabwe?
I was about to ask.
We have a music sector.
We have a sector.
It's a sector.
A music sector.
There's no music industry.
No,
It's a
we have
music sector.
sector.
I thought we had a music sector. I mean, a music industry, but a gospel sector.
No.
Because even the gospel genre, in terms of music, it's not fully functional. Sorry.
No, it is.
Okay.
It's just a genre. Gospel is a genre. So is jazz. So is sungura. Those are just genres. But we need to develop an industry. When we develop an industry, we create an economy whose value chain will support the players thereof.
Okay, so what would be an example of a music industry? What does a music industry entail to make sure that artists are well taken care of and their stuff is being heard, it's circulating, and it's done properly, and they are well represented?
Taken care of by who? This is where I always differ and say, we always see as someone has to come and take care. Once we think like that, it means no one has ever said, how are teachers taken care of? How are doctors taken care of?
No, Anyiti, you spoke about a record label representing
No.
an artist, and that's with a functional music industry. Right.
So it's a value chain that is in the industry and that is functioning. So I was answering the question that says, what have we done?
Okay.
This is why I spoke about, if we don't create the industry, we'll always have questions like this.
Okay.
Because people are expecting something elsewhere to do something.
To do something. All right.
With all due respect, sir, I mean, if you are in charge of everything.
I can't hear you, Lodza. And just Lodza. Okay, now I can hear you.
Sorry.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, with all due respect, sir, I'm just saying, since you're the main honcho, you're the man on top of the arts.
Yes.
You know, and you've been there for a while. I mean, reading through your profile, I mean, you were vice
23 years.
before. Yeah. I mean, under the National Arts Council, I think from 2010 you were like the number 2, right? I mean, like, because I saw an article that says from 2010 you were like vice to, and then you in 2018 you became the main man.
Something like that, which is 4 years ago.
And you got a 5-year tenure.
Yeah.
Right? So you got 1 more year.
A few months, I don't know. I don't count.
This
Jova will tell you
guy's
you
a
are
politician.
tired.
Yeah.
He's a politician. I don't go to tower. I don't go to
I
tower.
don't go to
Yeah.
Wakachi
That's it,
Mastakari.
That's it.
Mastakari.
All I'm saying is, in Mimi, what have you done? Because you're talking about creating an industry, Andika. We've been talking about this for a while. I think maybe even before 2010, actually. How do we create? And there's so much stuff that the National Arts Council could have done to help save the music, like even the piracy. I mean, we'll get into that. Mimi, you were in charge. You could have stopped it if you wanted to, with the help of the police or whoever. You tried, I know. But what have you done? So, you get what I'm asking you?
No, you are mixing up things.
All right, sir.
Yeah. So if you mix up, I can't.
Oh,
then
all
I
right.
don't know what to.
All right,
answer. Because we are
All right,
starting
can you-
about how many months are remaining.
Oh, no.
and
I was just saying that.
piracy, and then so I'm trying
No.
to say-
I was just trying to say, as you, Jamaita, so far, because you're talking about creating an industry, but yet you're on your way out.
Yes.
You see, you're still talking about creating.
You know why? It's because the mistake that people look at institutions like Arts Council, they look at a person. All right? They look at a person. When you are employed, you are not doing it for yourself.
Okay.
Otherwise, it will be disastrous.
Because you will leave and
You
the
should
problem
do
will still
things
continue.
that are driven by the sector. And
Okay.
the mistake is that even journalists, you push people that are in positions like me to think that for them to look good, they should do things that when people say, what have you done? Say, I did this, I did this, I did this. No. That's where we make the mistake. We should be doing things that are sustained beyond you. Therefore, never do things that you point to people that this is what I did. I'm not that type of person.
Okay.
We should be asking the sector. The artists that you call here should be asking them, what have you done to ensure that you leave a legacy in this industry? That if you are gone, people will say, during the year of this artist, we saw things go like this. That's what we should be focusing on. So the strategy that we are creating, it's not created by Arts Council. Arts Council facilitated the process to do that strategy, which was driven by the sector.
Okay.
We now have committees at different levels that every other week are discussing and saying, what is it that we are doing now? Now they're looking for certain resources and things like, because it has to be driven by the arts, by the industry. When Nicholas leaves, there should not be a gap in the development of the industry.
You must just continue.
But we have been making that mistake. We put pressure from people in positions to think about themselves. That's the way you are asking.
The guy is a politician.
And he's answering. He's like,
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right, so the artists need to be involved
They
in
have
this.
to. They have to be in the center. This is why even
Have
when
they
we
not
talk
been?
about- if you are asking that, it means we are not addressing the issues. Why I'm saying so?
All the artists.
Because the role of the artist mainly is to be productive, to be creative. They do their work. But if there is no industry to support them, they end up being everywhere. They
Just
start
to be
being
seen.
marketing, they have to do this, they have to do... Some of them now have to... Do you know it's in this country mainly where you find an artist that have done well, the next thing that they do, they establish a recording company. The next thing that they do, they establish a promotions company. They end up marketing themselves the whole of the value chain. Why? It's because that's the way in Zimbabwe we've allowed those things to happen. Yet there should be different players in each level who have the experience to do all those things.
But is that sustainable in Zimbabwe at the moment?
That's what we are saying. Let's develop an industry for the future.
Okay, so what
At
will...
the moment, it's not sustainable.
So what will a functional music industry in Zimbabwe look like? What will it look like? What does it mean for the artists? What does it mean for the industry as a whole? What would it look like?
Good. I will refer you to the music strategy, and I will want this...
Yeah, we'll take a picture of it or something.
No. That's not what I want.
Oh, okay, what do you
It's
want?
just a document.
Okay.
All right? When I refer you, I want to challenge you guys. Have other sessions where
Okay,
you want
based on
people
that.
to unpack
Okay.
these things
Majinzo.
in the sector. Bring people to unpack.
Okay.
Because, and then we draw people to start having discussions around these things. Because we also become a nation that risks. Speak very good English.
Oh, yeah.
We're proud of doing all this. And we risk
Go
creating
with English, yeah.
good documents that then go into shelves and gather dust. So we need to be challenging this document not to gather dust
Okay.
and do things differently.
All right. What does the document say?
No, that's the strategy. I'm saying this is the strategy which we need to unpack.
Okay.
And if we unpack, let's unpack it. It has 10 pillars Let's unpack it. Let's not rush over it. Let's unpack it. Let the players themselves come and be able to unpack. Because if we don't talk about these things, then we don't achieve them. That's my view. It may not be so correct, but it's my view. If we don't engage around the issues that will put money in the pockets of our artists, then we'll have not contributed anything to them.
All right. Speaking of money, during COVID, a lot of artists cried. Oh, bakhala shame. Because obviously there were no platforms for them to perform anymore. I think there was Nash TV, and
Yeah, there were a couple of
Nash TV and Nash TV stood out in terms of promoting artists. And this, if you can mention.
It was a mess, but anyway. Let's keep it moving. I know. I hear you. I hear what you're saying.
Let me try and gather my thoughts. Let me try and gather my thoughts. Okay. Right. So Nash TV did much in terms of trying to give the artists a platform to perform. If they were paid, I don't know. I don't want to talk about things that I don't know. But I know that the artists were performing on Nash TV and they were very appreciative. I remember I even covered bits of it over COVID for the BBC. But then there was also noise about Uti. There were COVID funds for artists. And were any artists given this money? What was the criteria used if they were given money? And if they were not given money, what happened? And was there a COVID fund or there was no money at all? Or it was there? It just didn't get to the artist. What happened there?
And also, sorry, sir.
Yes.
What do I edit?
Yeah. How was it dispersed? Like, how was it given to?
That's what I asked. Like, Uti, what was the criteria? If it was given out, or if it was, was there a COVID fund for artists?
I will answer two questions.
I answer all of
Politician.
There were 2.5, so I'll answer two.
Okay, there were 2.5.
Yeah,
Okay.
there were 2.5.
All right.
The half is whether you go or not go.
Okay.
So I'm saying I don't know. So what I can answer is that most of the artists that were complaining about it means they knew that it was there. There is no normal person who complains about something which is not.
So
there. It means they knew that it was there.
Okay.
And they waited to complain about it. What misses in us is then to ask a person who says is complaining, meaning he knew, is to ask, did you apply?
Oh, they had to apply.
There is no. Where in the world do people just give people money?
Other countries were doing it. They would have COVID funds.
What did they do?
There were COVID funds. I'm a relief. How did
they give people? How do you come with the list of people? People have to present themselves. You don't just go in the street and say, okay, today we want all jazz musicians to come, we'll be giving you money. No in the world do you do that.
Okay, so I have a friend in Australia, and the company she was working for was giving out funds for people who, I forgot which sector it is that they were working in, but they were at home, obviously not working. So they would phone in and be like, my name is this is my work ID, and I'm at home. And then they would send.
Exactly, that's an application.
The funds.
You are phoning in and tell them.
But they are known.
No.
Yes.
This is why I'm saying, in our country, what did that person who complains about it, what did they do? Did they phone Arts Council and say, I'm in a situation, I also need money? No.
Okay.
So I go and say, Australia will do the phoning in. But that's still the way someone applies. The one who didn't have the phone number didn't phone. So you can sit and say, but I didn't receive anything. In Zimbabwe, it was announced.
Okay.
People had to apply. Very simple application.
Okay.
People applied. There were more applications than the money was there. We are talking of Zimbabwe, we're not talking of another country.
Okay.
All right? We're talking of Zimbabwe, which we know the economy of this country.
Yeah.
We know the size of the cake. People should only complain that it was too small.
Not that they were not given.
It will be unfair.
Okay.
For me, I'm saying it will be unfair. The government of the National Arts Council worked to ensure that government affords the sector a relief. That we did. It was under COVID, government released the money.
How much was it?
It was announced, I think at that time it should have been 10 million or something.
RTGS?
What is our
Dollar, yeah.
No, let's not ridicule it. It will be unfair
Say
that we
WL.
ridicule our own currency.
No,
WL.
not
It
to
is-
ridicule,
that's-
but like,
that's-
was it 10 million USD or it was 10 million
Because it's a
Zim dollars?
multi-currency system.
No, it's at that time when was COVID, when it was that done, when was
It was,
multi-currency,
yeah,
when
yeah.
was multi-currency.
No, we're talking now. Now we're talking about then.
No,
Okay.
we're talking about then. So let's ask because we know what it is.
Politician.
You know why? Because at times media contributes to the confusion that is out there.
True.
And people love you so much because you seem like you are singing their song. And you are asking me to correct things.
Yes, we're asking you to correct
That's
things.
why I'm saying when it was released, what the government did, it then said, we will split it per province.
Okay.
Okay.
Because if you don't, you'll always have one province
That
taking
will
the
like-
lion's
yeah.
share to a split per province. And if you want, you can invite the Minister of Youth, Sport, Arts and Recreation, which was now managing that process,
Oh, okay.
to come and declare. If anyone wants, you can find that information because it is.
It's available.
It has just been unfortunate that some artists bent to project a certain image. And of all the artists that I heard speaking very loudly, had not applied.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And
I will answer. I end up.
So I've answered you too.
Yeah.
no, you did.
I wanna narrow.
You
I wanna
did.
narrow.
You
I
did.
wanna
So
narrow.
they had to apply, and they did not apply.
No, others applied.
Okay.
Many
And the ones
of
that
them,
applied, did they receive?
they did get their monies. That's why I'm saying if people want to do audit, do that audit. It is there. I can stand and vouch for our processes.
Yeah.
The question is, was it enough? That's something else.
Yeah.
For another day.
For another day.
Show me one person in this country who earns a salary which is enough.
Oh no.
So how much a relief?
Yeah. I'm there, able.
I will not.
I think in the wrong field. Ndara unenge uri wrong field zvako.
Yeah, I think you must just do something.
Few months out. Ndara miri zvakatirongero.
As you are getting out, you must just focus.
Aiwa.
You must just focus.
Taida
on
kurwa
that.
mama questions ndara
No, it's
akutonetsa
good.
kudzora unzwe.
That's why we brought him on, because like there's a lot of grievances in the music sector.
Especially the music. I mean, since
Because
we do
there's
all
no
arts.
industry
yeah.
at the moment. I need in the music sector. There's a lot of noise, and Nama keeps coming up.
You know, also, do you know, in Zimbabwe, we talk about music. We're talking more about music. We're not talking about visual artists.
No, because I mean I've never heard noise in those other
No, actually, they
industries.
have. They have.
Okay,
It's because
akukafiki la.
No, we think they don't exist, so we don't hear the noise because the noise is not as loud
As
music
as
is,
music
but
is.
it's there. The other issue that is there is that this noise that is in the music industry, where are they channeling it through? Do they have unions that can represent them?
Okay.
Because you can't have a voice alone. There are no institutions that have enough resources to be listening to individual voices. If people were to send musicians or people in the music industry were to send complaints, even if you decide now to announce the email address that they should write to, if I go with the way you are saying, so many complaints, if we have even 20,000 then coming to qualify what we are saying, what human resource can I have to go through that? That's
Can't
no
answer
way.
everything, yeah.
There is no resource. We don't. But if people are unionized, they get heard. And we should be either promoting and challenging people to be heard. You've been complaining. Are you not being heard?
Or they complaining to the wrong people.
Where are you taking
The
those
complaints.
complaints? How are you organized yourself?
Okay.
It's important that we help these processes so that people then don't see as if people are just ignoring. People don't just ignore. It's important that even if when you have an answer to something, who do I go to? Who do I go and deliver that answer to?
Okay.
It's important. I think unionization is one of the most important things that we need to be strengthening and helping. Yes, there is one or two.
I was about to ask, do you know any unions?
They are.
And they're doing okay?
Zumura
They
Union?
are trying.
Yes.
No, Zimura really is for music rights. It's for collecting
Rights,
royalties.
okay.
But we have,
That's another
we
story
have your
also.
Zimbabwe Union of Musicians. But it's important to strengthen these institutions. And the sector then makes the institutions representing their sector to be more accountable. It's my take.
All right.
Because no one has the resource to listen to
every complaint.
It just doesn't work.
A vocal, do you know of any unions, like artists, let's say, from, how do I put this, my ghetto youth? Because most of the music that's coming out now is like it's surrounded around, the dance hall,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Do they have a union like what Mr. Nick is talking about?
No, not really. We tried having one, but people are too busy to be
And
grouping around and
Okay.
complain and do to complain about what? Because I want to be the bigger artist. But I know unions of promoters, and I'm also part of them. And also, speaking of promoters, I had a question that I wanted to
go
ask.
ahead. He's here for this.
I don't know, what are you doing to, I don't know if the complaint was raised to you, but some promoters are complaining that corporates are now becoming more of promoters than the music promoters. And wakushaya mabasa. I don't know if you had that one. Yeah, so what are you doing as the National Arts Council that registers promoters and to protect promoters? Promoters pay to you so that they operate. And
Oh,
now
promoters
they can't-
pay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, it has to some extent been addressed. We have quite a number of promoters now. We compel them. They can't do the show. We compel them
To engage.
to engage a promoter. And that has been coming out very well. Quite a number of events in major cities can't happen without police clearances, you know that. And police demand that we need your letter of clearance for that show. So we've had a lot of corporates then rushing and saying, the police are refusing to give us clearance, and saying, no, they are correct. We are also not giving you a clearance for a show because we are not in the business of promotion.
Oof.
We are in the business of whatever core products you sell. Then they say, okay, give us names of promoters, and we just
Work with them.
just give them a list, and they choose whoever they want to choose. Yeah. Small gains, but it has been raised, and we have tried to chip in on that.
But don't you need the help of the corporates in the arts?
No, we do. It's only that we are saying when you allow a lot of these corporates, some of them have created so many, their shows have actually had more challenges before. I'm not going to sit and mention
It's okay.
disaster shows that happen because they can't tick every box. They think just hiring a PA system and bringing the most popular
Then
artist
they're
is
good
fine.
to go.
Then you have 10,000 people that they've come into your show, and you have the most popular artist because people have come not for what you are doing, but because you use the artist to draw crowds. But you have not ticked the other boxes for security, for disaster management, and things like that. So we've had situations where a lot of corporates have actually seen value
In working with
promoters, because then they can recuse themselves from the other things.
Less responsibility.
Yeah.
On the promotion issue, with the money that you charge for international promotion, I know you charge for international promotions, right? A certain percentage. How much is it now, sir?
How much is what?
How much is the percentage you from the proposed? What do you call it? Proposed the income or projected income?
I think it's 5% of.
5%. But do you think the fees are fair? Because you have to pay Zimra now. Zimra, National Arts Council, by the time you're done with the hiring the venue and stuff.
If they were not fair, you will not be having international shows in this country. Promoters will have folded Kudara.
So you don't make it difficult for them to bring in international artists?
It can be 4%, it can be 7%.
What if the international artist is coming for a private function? Because, Ulavanya who want to have a birthday party and then they bring in these international artists. Do you still get...
They still want a piece.
No.
Do you still take something from there?
A private function is a private function. It remains private. There are many people who have done weddings. We've facilitated them bringing people for those shows.
And you don't take
But do you charge them though?
No, they're not promoters. It's not a commercial show.
Okay.
You can't charge. Look,
okay, yeah, you're right.
5% is based on what? You are the
Oh,
one
yeah,
that
I
told
said
me.
yeah, projected income, yeah.
So how do I
You got me again, Mr. Polity. You got me again. You got me again.
And also, we still own international artists. Kudara, we used to know kuti if one artist comes.
You are less than 30 years. Good.
Yes. 10 years is Kudara. 10 years is Kudara. Because I have people now I can say Kudara to 2010. Kudara 2010. So yeah.
I report.
Yeah. Let me say, during those days.
Way back when.
So during those days, we used to know that if an international artist is coming, then it means probably that month or that week or that day, no international artist is coming again. But now we can see kuti Panapatina international artist, Kuseru Kutina international artist, Mangwana next week. How are you doing that to control?
Yeah, this is a conversation. Huh?
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a conversation. She likes to keep it tight.
Do you remember any show that is actually flopped because of 3 international shows in one weekend?
A couple.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
No.
Wait. Before
I won't say names.
Whoa, mana, whoa.
Yeah.
No.
Whoa, Maka. Whoa.
I can't say flopped.
Wait.
Affected.
Have you attended any of these international?
Yes, we do.
Or you forced to do so, or
we
by
do.
choice, you have to?
I have officers that when we clear international shows,
not you per se.
We have, because this interview is for the director of the National Arts Council,
Right.
Not the director of the Moyo clan.
Right.
So when I say I answer for the organization.
Okay, so there's people that attend.
Yeah, people.
Okay,
attend
go
this
ahead,
shows.
Vocal.
I think I have to answer you. I have seen. I can't say flopped because.
But affected, yes, no.
Affected.
Yes. So I'll answer you now.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, have you seen those that flop? Okay. And we are saying maybe not flopped, but affected, which is very correct. National Arts Council does not put rules to run the sector. We don't. Regulations that are there are driven by the sector. Okay. And the National Arts Council, every January, February, or just when we finish NAMA, we have meetings annually with promoters where we review what has been happening and where there are issues. and Kudara. It was what you say.
Yeah.
And the promoters themselves came and said the industry in Zimbabwe, generally,
Yeah.
the economy of Zimbabwe has changed and transformed.
Yeah.
The entertainment appetite has transformed.
Yeah.
You are the guys that come and say, don't judge us the way how you judged our fathers who were consuming them.
Yeah, true.
So allow us, and people have a choice. As long as the promoters that come, we tell them there is this show, there is the other show that has been cleared, and they know, and they consent. So that has been the regulation that came from the promoters themselves.
Okay.
Until the promoters come and say, let's review and go back to the Gudara regulation because it's no longer working for us here.
Yeah.
We go with it.
All right. Yeah, understood.
Understood.
Yeah, understood. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, my one and all right. All right. So I'm going to take you back. We spoke about it.
My apologies.
No, it's you know what? I like this because we had a lot of questions and we thought Nama was responsible for a lot of things. So as you were breaking this down, I'm sure there'll be artists who are watching and be like, oh, okay, so I was wrong there. I have to do this. I have to do that. So back to the criteria of being nominated for any award for the Namas, you have to fill in a form. You have to apply. You have to send in your work.
Ulahleka ngaphi wena?
Mina indaba yami is
It's because I've told you ukuthi amanye ama-entries are by monitors. So you will not have filled in the form.
okay.
Because people in the industry, the monitors have already seen and have already entered by their report.
Right. So,
So
that's
why
where
I
my
gave
question
you
is.
few
Yes.
categories
Yes,
of
you
this
you
then
did, and
the
you
last
broke it
is
down
the
so
one where you
nicely.
fill in a
Yes.
form.
So if all of that has been done, and I as an artist, I don't fill in the form, will the monitor's decision or that they've singled me out and said, no, this one is doing good, would that still be counted if I don't fill in and...
Yes, it's counted.
Oh, it's counted.
Yeah, because I've said monitoring
Right,
is
okay.
another part of entries. So for it being considered, remember, it's the monitoring is actually set up by NAMA to support NAMA. So there is no way it will be ignored when it's actually set up by NAMA.
Okay, so we had the comic pastor some time ago. He came on the show and he was talking about his career and everything. And then in the interview, he said, without quoting, because I don't remember his words exactly, but he suggested that the Namas created a certain category just to accommodate Madam Boss. How true is that?
It will be difficult if it's coming as you are not doing verbatim.
Yes, I know I'm not. Yeah, but
So if I answer it, it's like I'm answering.
I
comic
don't be a
pastor.
politician for me.
Because if
Uncle,
he was here, then I answer him.
Okay.
But because we are actually speaking that it came from him, I'm not going to go a way of trying to.
Okay, so maybe
Give
answer this. Are there
credence.
categories that are created last minute to accommodate certain people? Maybe the monitor?
I resigned the following day. It's an insult for people to think that an institution creates an award for a person.
Okay.
It's like we are looking at our own selves as Zimbabweans and say we have stooped so low as a nation to have someone in leadership who can make a decision to create a post for a person.
You resign the
It's
next day.
sad. It's sad. It's for us. It's actually very sad, even to believe people that say these things.
It's sad, ne?
It's sad because it speaks about us as a nation. We stoop that low
Uti will just hold a whole award ceremony. Uti, no,
For
let's
a person.
For a person.
Dear President.
All right, so if you were...
ndatoresigna mudhara ndatoshayiwa maquestions ataida kubvunza acho tatakakulitsira tikatomubhomba mudhara this tabombo
Aiwa, but it wasn't
but no,
about
mudhara, you're
bomb.
making sense. I mean, I must applaud you kuti zvese zvine answer. I didn't think you'd answer all this stuff like the way he's answering, you know. Especially COVID, iphone chamubata mudhara ai chitamutadza.
No, because yeCovid zvakanzi mari yakajika.
Chakazi mudhara wakadya mari wakatenga mota nyowani.
What car did you come with?
Mudhara wane mwezi 4x4. Sakati chamubata ipapo. But I guess no, I mean, it's a good thing. I mean, we are making this conversation.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah.
Very
So if you were to advise any of the artists in terms of nominations, creating an industry, where should they start? You spoke about the unions, you spoke about having a proper channel to follow, and then there's 10 pillars that you mentioned, of which you are still yet to know what those 10 pillars are. What's the first step that an artist has to take, whether they are, established or still trying to find their feet?
Allow me, Becky, to say something before I answer that.
It's okay.
Emanating from your from our last conversation. Just as a discourse.
All right.
NAMA, you start with entries, adjudication processes goes on. After that, there is the announcement of nominees.
Okay.
The announcement of nominees gives you usually 3 nominees per award.
Okay.
3 nominees per award. What does it mean with 3 nominees per award? It means those 3 nominees are all equal for the award. In the international forums, the most important thing is to be nominated.
Oh yeah, they just...
Not actually the award.
Yeah.
People talk a lot about having been nominated, not the award. The award is just the last thing that happens. It's important, I think, if you are nominated, and there are 3 of you, and at the point when they are announced, to seek to be recused and refuse the nomination. You are laughing. You know why? Nobody
Wants to do that.
has ever refused a nomination. But have you seen how many people, actually all the noise makers who rubbish NAMA afterwards were those that were nominees? Who on the night had come dressed,
Ready to win.
ready to win.
And then someone else takes
And
it.
when the other person whom they've been with, and all of a sudden, NAMA is rubbish.
Because I didn't win.
For 2 weeks or 3 weeks, when you are waiting to win and you go and buy a suit,
You're pushing Nama. But
NAMA is good. But because the other person whom you are has been awarded, NAMA is rubbish. It's important, I think, to look at these things and start saying to the person who is complaining, should I really give audience, even in my platform, for this? Because the person is bitter. Because everybody who does not win naturally becomes bitter. But where do you take your bitterness? I think for me, this is what is very important. Where to from here? I think there are other things we need to celebrate. Becky, we have artists whose value has dramatically changed after Nama. People who have won Namas and the following weekend, their charge is different.
Oh, yeah.
And people still pay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So there is the extreme, good things that have happened. And of course, Nama is not a holy thing. You know, it's not that we don't make mistakes. There are many things that could not go so well.
Okay.
But also, we need also to be able to also celebrate certain people that have done very well and can speak about what Nama has done in their lives.
Okay.
And we challenge and then say, how can Nama help the industry, not just music, the creative sector of this country to transform, to become an industry that all of us will live to enjoy. A country that has no theater awards except Nama. So everybody's waiting for Nama.
Because it's the only one that has theatre awards.
No dance awards. Everybody's
It's
waiting
for Nama.
You go to all these countries that you want to make mention about. How many music awards do they have? Plenty. Here in Zimbabwe, they're only waiting for Zima, maybe.
So are you saying I
So
can
that
wake up
puts-
tomorrow and be like,
Yeah, but that puts pressure on Nama, right? Because we have not gone to encourage and allow people to do products that can lift up the sectors. Visual arts, nothing. Comedians, nothing. So all of them, thousands
waiting
of
for
them,
Nama.
are waiting for Nama. That just has 3 awards. So how long are you going to wait?
But I see responsibility in your night director.
No, I already have Nama. I already
he
have
already
Nama.
has
Alright.
Nama. So
The
he's
sector should have their own. I already
Okay.
have Nama,
All right.
which is the premier award. But the sectors should sit there. You know, when you have theatre awards, for example, theatre lovers and everybody should go there and they have 30, 40 awards of theatre.
Right.
So they will honor the one who does costume, the one who does set, the one who does this, the one.
Editing.
And yes, they used to call them supporting actor, supporting
yes.
actress,
Yeah,
and things
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Because they help the main actor bring the story.
so now Nama has all of those awards.
Nama now people
Has to
everybody
carry.
wait for that. So how many years? So Nama has this pressure, and when I respond, it's not that I'm trying to defend Nama. I'm trying to say I'm creating a conversation that there are other things that we can promote that can make our artists receive accolades and enjoy the work that they are doing. Because awards, unfortunately, are for only a particular year. So when you get to a point where you have not produced or something has happened, you are no longer able, it means you have lost. You have no award even to show to your name.
Able. So are you saying I can wake up tomorrow and be like, I want to start some awards that have to do with music? Do I then come to National Arts Council and fill in a form and say I want to do this, or there's somewhere else where I have to go?
No, you just register as
to
either
register.
as a promoter or
With
a-
National
with
Arts.
the National Arts Council.
Okay.
But yes, you can do your awards.
Oh, okay. So for those of you who are watching and you're like, I want Namanda Bonayo, right? You can start your own awards and sort it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Becky, also speaking of starting your own awards, I also want to ask, sir, do you offer guidance or do you offer training for people that want to do their own awards? Because speaking for myself, I was born and bred in Zimdanso, but if you look at the awards that are now being done, Zimdanso awards, I don't think you can be proud.
Have you sent your people to
You
attend?
see, there's WhatsApp awards, and then there are online certificates to award artists. So I don't know, do you offer any support or any guidance?
I cannot say we offer training
Yeah.
because we had not done the training needs. Okay. So I can't say that.
Yeah.
But what we have always offered is consultants. many organizations in this country, some of them, they come to us with things that are in their infants as a one stream.
Yeah.
Walk in and say, make an appointment, we come, we have helped people to either tweak here, change direction and do this. That we offer because that's what we are there for. We have never done training, like I'm saying, because we have not done a need assessment and saw that there are many awards. I know there is hip hop and that, but yes, we've offered quite a lot of assistance in terms of consultancy for those that require it.
Okay.
Are there any awards that you can block and say, hey, please just stop, don't, because the level of
At the moment, no.
At the moment, no.
We allow people. I mean, let's allow people to do what they want
Oh, okay.
to do. People subscribe to it.
Becky, I don't know if you had asked, are there any monetary value in the awards?
Oh yeah, no, we hadn't. What do they win at NAMA? I've never won an NAMA. I think I have to apply. I'm one of those. I'm one of those that be like, can't you see I'm doing something?
I answered. I said the NAMA should give you value. The winning of the NAMA is the one that should give you value.
Okay.
That's where you should draw your signings.
Okay.
You know, not the night of the awards.
Okay.
In Zimbabwe, well, one again, because when we started, people like comparing.
Yes.
Very few awards internationally give monetary prizes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, go check few awards, if any, give monetary.
Even Grammys,
Yeah,
I don't think they give.
They don't give money.
They just get that little trophy thing,
Zimbabwe,
and then you're done.
Your value.
Your
Or because of
It's
that.
the value, yes. So in Zimbabwe, we've always been consistent in ensuring that we put a small monetary token to go with the award.
This is by choice.
It's what we chose to do.
What you chose
Why?
to do.
Because we can't be comparing ourselves with international awards because their environment is different.
It's different, yeah.
You know, when you talk about value, their environment is different
Yeah.
with ours. So we always ensure that it's a coveted trophy, it's the certificate,
Okay.
and some small amount, because it depends with what have we raised from the corporates, from government. Then we say, okay, we'll give so much to each winner every year.
Okay.
It's not much, but there are a lot who have actually appreciated.
Okay.
All right. Vocal spoke about trainings and all of that. I know you said you don't offer training on how awards are run and for promoters and all. Is there anything else that the National Arts Council does for artists? Like, do you have workshops?
All our workshops are need-driven. The other year, 2 years ago, during COVID, there were quite a number of online workshops on IP.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Why on
Very
IP?
important.
And even this year, we're focused on IP because when people moved into the digital era, there's been a complete change of piracy. So you need to be updating artists, and artists now are aware of what they need to do in the digital environment. We'll be doing a lot this year because we are, in terms of the implementation of the music strategy, so specifically for music. So the issue of IP in the digital era will also be our focus this year, which will culminate into a music summit sometime in the mid of this year.
All right. So
or towards the end of this year.
And how are you reaching these artists? Do they belong to a database, or they have to be responsible that they are on your side checking what's happening?
National Arts Council has offices in every province. And our provincial offices, they work with associations and artists. So when you flight a small advert, you expect that the advert is then goes viral. It goes into different other groups, and then people use that to come. Database we have, but it's not exhaustive because we are looking at a sector who just filling in a form to give us your data
It's impossible.
I'm telling
Bubuhlungu.
you. Lifuna ukuyisanga. Why do you want my information?
We want to help you.
So when they don't want, no, you can tell them. But when they don't even want to fill in a NAMA form, it's the same.
How will they fill in? Okay.
But we have a database that we are just redesigning.
Forms, yeah, it's noise. Shame. Yeah, I don't know if you still have any questions.
Yeah, one, I don't know the importance of it, but okay, coming from the urban areas, I come from the other side of Samora.
Okay.
Yeah. I wish I had a horn.
It seems like there is a shortage of venues to hold shows, like music shows. And I just want to know what the National Arts Council is doing. Probably
is it is it their responsibility?
No,
is it your
I just want to see
responsibility?
if they are able to facilitate
Because of the way he's
anything
been
with the
answering, he's
council.
like, who should help you?
Yeah.
Help yourselves.
No.
I want to know if you are doing anything.
No. Yes, you are right.
With the council to facilitate.
You are right. It's very correct. It's our responsibility
to
facilitate.
Yeah.
Okay. Engagement with local authorities has been very, very high. The last 2 years we have carried out, we may release it very soon, we have carried out what we call an audit facility.
Okay.
We're auditing facilities that are existing in this country.
Okay.
So that facilities can be identified to be facilities to be used for performances.
Okay.
Then we sign contracts with the owners of those facilities.
Okay.
And our plan is that as we go forward, we identify one facility per province that we can then chip in terms of trying to renovate it.
Okay.
Because some of these are just spaces.
Yeah.
Some of the community halls that have been built
they're
a long
lying
time,
idle.
they're now,
Yeah.
you go in there, you can't,
Dilapidated,
most of
yeah.
them don't even have a changing room.
Yeah.
So our plan is that in a small way, we identify one per province, which then we look for funding to do some bit of renovations. So when we come to the local authority, for example, we offer that in exchange of the local authority giving the venue to the sector to use for the purpose of performances. Then we say we are coming in to do renovations and things like that. What does it do? Number one, it gives performance space for you.
Yeah.
But secondly, which is really more of our future focus, is to increase the consumption of the arts in Zimbabwe. Because if there are no venues, we have no way people can come and consume your art. So we're trying to marry the two, and yes, our responsibility is to facilitate. And we'll be publishing the space audit results that we did.
Okay.
It was unfortunate we went to one local authority, and we ended up taking the money and using it elsewhere.
Oh, okay.
Because in 2020, I think 2020 we had assigned about 2 million then. RTGS in 2020 done a lot, and went to a local authority. We have identified the space, want to put a perimeter wall so that we
can host certain things, functions.
It's going to full council. It's going there. It took 1 year for them to then come back and then say, we are reconsidering, now go and meet until you reallocate the resources. So these are some of the challenges that we have, especially when it comes to local,
but is the red tape
authorities.
necessary, like for them to take that process to make it so long when you're trying to do a good thing?
To them, it's not a good thing. To them, they view it as you are using strategies to take away their facilities. So people will be, it depends which side you are looking at it. So I always don't blame them for decisions, but I think it's at the end when they don't allow those things to happen, they are actually disadvantaging the communities that they are there to serve.
Yeah, that's true.
I know it's really disadvantaging them. It really is. Where do you see the music industry in 5 years? Or the music sector? Will it be an industry in 5 years?
Yes, I think so. I think this conversation and our young people coming on board is changing the way we are seeing things. and I see a lot of vibrancy in the either instruments that will make the sector become an industry. So I'm very positive. 5 years will be a different,
It will be different.
ball game altogether. Yeah.
Right. And how often do you change the producer of the numbers? After how long?
The contract is a 5-year contract.
Oh, nice.
The contract is not with a producer. The contract is with an events management company.
With an events management
It's the one
company.
that then hires a producer.
Okay. So let's say you're
We've seen the
really
event-
happy with what Napoleon is doing. Do you award him
We
another 5?
I personally don't know Napoleon. I have no contract with Napoleon.
Okay.
I have a contract with events management.
Events
Oh, so you didn't hire Napster? You didn't hire him?
No.
Oh, okay.
So I
Sada kupaka credit
don't, I
mdara.
don't, I don't know.
Yeah,
him.
tangata Dr. Upaisando
Credit
mudara,
mdara.
mudara,
So sasando mdara.
Yes, no, I don't know.
All right.
Tangata bigger.
I only work with him because he's representing the events management company.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, that was Nicholas Moyo, National Arts Council. I don't know, Lodza, if you had anything to ask him before we shut it down, because
Ndara unobatika kupisa autaura zvezvo. Mdara anenge ane wisdom anogona kubuda pese anopukunyuka mdara apukunyuka. Pukunyu. Apukunyuka
we
mdara.
thought we
My
had you.
apologies.
Apologies. All right. Thank you mdara.
Thank you for
Matuonesa.
coming through. Thank you for coming
That was
through.
my pleasure. It was interesting.
Yes. No, okay, please, before you go, the 10 pillars.
We said we're unpacking it for another time. You'll get guys out there.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Nicholas Moyo, ladies and
Chibaba.
gentlemen, Chief Purpose
Yeah.
from the National Arts Council on the Denny J Show. Ikamango Becky K. Until next time, mutambire kure ne moto. Catch you later.
See ya.
Denny J Show. Zvanga zviri down to up tauraidzwe nyaya dzacho dzese narrative ndaichidwe kana mchida kutipisa deep ndaipidwe make you spill a bean if you know what I